to scoot over for me.
Ian, is that your editor?
Yeah.
Oh, so, hi Ian.
Not just saying hi. Hey teammates, welcome back to Teaching with Tania. It is officially December day 3. We have the amazing Miss Anderson here. And you want to introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, I am Taylor Anderson, or Miss Anderson as my students affectionately call me. I teach 2nd grade math and science.
What made you become a teacher?
Well, I was really positively impacted by a lot of my teachers growing up. And I've always had a passion for like the youth and wanting to like give back and things like that. So I originally went to undergrad for psychology, but I wanted to, like, once I was getting close to graduation, I knew I wanted to go into education, but it was like too late to change my major.
Oh wow. Okay,
so,
psych, I didn't know that.
Yes. So then I was trying to think like, okay, how can I get into education? And so I was like, well, with anything that you're trying to start, you start entry level. So I was like, let me be a teacher.
Yeah.
And fell in love with it. So yeah.
Yes. So how long have you been teaching and what do you teach?
This is technically my 2nd year, but I've been in classrooms for about 3 or 4 years.
And you're a professional. A professional teacher.
What was the other question? I'm sorry.
What do you teach?
Oh, I teach math and science.
Yes. So we're gonna get a lot of good math tips from her. Also, her data was really good last year. So we want to know, what's the secret sauce for math whole group instruction?
First, I will say build a classroom community. Math can be very challenging. Well, learning period is challenging for students because it's their first time doing a lot of these things.
Especially in 2nd grade.
Right. 2nd grade is really where things are transitioning. They're going from that early elementary to upper elementary. So it's a very transitional grade. So I would definitely say build a relationship, know your students, know their needs. Because without that, it's very hard to inform your instruction. So that's tip number 1 I would give. Number 2, I would say try to make it as hands-on as possible. So I use a lot of manipulatives, a lot of whiteboards, lots of group work. Like I want them to be able to like. We just told her to go downstairs.
Please, you should have been there. Oh Lord. Just so you know, I had her students from last year, so.
But yeah, so I use a lot of hands-on things in my classroom so that they can actually grapple with the math and make sense of it. Plus, you want to be able to reach every type of learner. So I don't like just standing in front of my kids and lecturing. Like I like to really give them opportunities to work with it.
And involve
them in the math.
So pause right there. How do you like differentiate for like someone that's struggling as opposed to the high learners and in between?
So that starts off even with little things like my seating chart. Like I try to mix my highs and lows. So when I have table groups in my classroom, so they're in groups of 4 or 5. And so I try to mix them to where it's not like somebody's way down here and somebody's way up here, because then it can be very challenging for the both of them. But I try to like find fits that will help each other, like push each other. So maybe this student does really well with like geometry, but this student does really well with numbers and operations. Like they both have strengths in different areas and weaknesses in different areas that they can then feed off of each other, because then you get authentic collaboration. Like my kids actually work together, enjoy working together.
For people in the back. Authentic collaboration.
Authentic collaboration, yes. Because that's one thing I often hear teachers like complain about. It's like, okay, I tell them to turn and talk, and then they don't talk about what I told them to talk about. I'm very intentional about who I'm making them talk to, because I want them to be able to get something out of it. So yeah, mixing them with people that they can actually like push each other, pull from each other, works really well. So yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, you said something really good too, like learning from your peers.
Right.
I feel like comes off better than a teacher telling you what to do, but how in a kid brain, how do they think and how would they explain it to each other?
Yes.
So that's pretty good.
Yes. So what was that, 2 or 3? 2. Third, I mean, I guess that kind of leads me to the next step. I am very intentional with my questioning. So I don't only want students to be able to solve the problem, but like explain their reasoning. So like that's how I'm really honestly able to understand who gets it and who doesn't, because
based off the question.
Based off the questions that I ask. So of course right now my mind is going blank with examples, but like obviously math can a lot of times just be like patterns, step by steps, and kids can pick up on that, but you might not be able to see if a student is struggling with something if you aren't making them explain their thinking. Like some kids will get things right just off a chance.
Right.
Not because they actually understand.
And that's sort of like your reverse psychology.
Right.
Okay, you see your psychology degree? I love that.
A little bit. But yes, no, so I'm very intentional. Like anytime I have a student explain to me their answer in my class, like if I'm asking, okay, what did you get for question number 1? They tell me, I'm asking the rest of the class, do we agree with them? And even if the answer is wrong, because then that's an opportunity for us to discuss as a class what happened, how can we fix it.
And you created that safe space.
Right.
It's okay.
Exactly. That's going back to number 1, create that classroom community, because we already know everybody makes mistakes in here, especially me. I make mistakes in front of my kids on purpose, even though obviously, you know, and even unintentionally. And I always point that out to them because it's like, hey, I'm an adult and I still don't get everything right. But building that classroom community, of course, creates the environment to be able to do that. But yes, so them being able to explain shows that they actually understand the standards and the concepts that you're teaching them. And so I'm very intentional with that.
I like how you said that too. Well, yes, it is a little different from ELA. You guys know I teach ELA all the time, so it's not quite as step by step, but still having them explain it back to you lets you know they have a deeper understanding. And I talked about as well, like in school, most of the times we're not looking for mastery, but we need that mastery to make sure, because if you come back to a week from now, or if the test, for example, MCAP is way long from now,
right?
But still, do they understand it? Can they? It will at least jog their memory, right? You know, if they have a deeper understanding than just surface level or just the first teach.
Yes. Yep. And that's something that like I have taught them how to do. Like this is not something that they obviously came to me knowing. Like when I was like day 1 teaching versus now, like it's very collaborative. Like me and my students are discussing now. In the beginning, I'm like thinking out loud, like, okay, this problem is telling me that I have 5 apples and I want to give 4 of them to my sister. All right, so now I need to ask myself, am I adding, subtract? So like,
model.
Yes.
Think
so
loud,
now they are able to then ask themselves these questions. So when I'm asking them to explain to me, they already have those tools because they saw me do it.
Do you guys use sentence stems and stuff?
Yes, we do. Okay. Yep. So, and that's the thing, like I will give them sentence starters if I see them like maybe struggling to explain to me what it is they're trying to portray. So I will give them like a sentence starter to help them, you know, obviously because you want to bridge those
friends that may not be there yet.
Yes. Yep.
But some of them like playing like little teacher, mini teacher.
For sure. I get them to do half of the work. I will do the first 3 problems. You guys work together. Then I'm calling on my mini teachers. They're coming up. They're explaining as they're writing on the board. You cannot come to my board if you're not going to explain what you're doing, because I don't get on the board and I don't explain. They explain what they're doing, why they're doing it, how they got the answer. The class agrees or disagrees. We discuss if we agree. We discuss if we don't disagree. And that's the thing. They always understand that, like, I have to agree or disagree, and also give why.
That explanation.
You know, because, you know, sometimes they try to be funny and be like, no, I don't disagree. I'm just like, come on,
our
friend.
babies are struggling.
Right.
Oh, how do you set that high expectation for learners? Like, in our class, like, we just like to have fun in general, so having fun with our kids, but letting them know, like, we can still play but have fun because there's still levels and expectations we need you to meet.
I mean, obviously incentives. So behavior management, you know, we play like little behavior management games, incentives, you know, we have the school store. So I'll give dollars and things like that. But I really don't have to do too much of that now, like I said, because I did so much in the beginning, to where it's like now they want to do it. Like I'm not forcing them.
You said that.
To really do it, you know, they already know that that's the routine. Like they know I'm gonna ask them why. They know that I'm gonna, you know, because it's like you got to teach me now. Like I forgot, Miss Anderson went to 2nd grade 85 years ago, so you got to remind me, you know. So things like that, like they are excited more when like I give them that opportunity to like kind of take over their own learning.
So they're learning in their growth.
Yes.
Nice. 2 more.
Okay.
How do you, after your first teach and friends that don't get it, do you remediate in small group, or how do you anticipate misconceptions.
Right.
People not getting.
So it definitely depends. I backwards plan a lot, so I will look at the end of my module, see what it is that they need to do.
I thought you had to do that.
I will look at the end of module. I will take the end of module and try to put on my student eyes and try to see, okay, where could they get confused on this question? Where could they get certain things like misunderstood? And I bring that into my teaching. So backwards, I guess it would be my fourth tip, backwards planning.
Yeah.
But to answer your question.
That may not get it.
Yes, okay, what do I do? So after the first teach, obviously I always do exit ticket. I look at my exit ticket data. That tells me, okay, did we master this lesson? Did we not?
Analyzing data, which I hated at first.
Did we master this lesson? Did we not? I always try to shoot for 80-85% because obviously that's majority. That will leave with maybe 4 or 5 kids who didn't get it. Then if those kids didn't do it, I will reteach mini lessons, small group, have them retake the exit ticket. A lot of times that works. There are times, however, though, where we're not reaching the 85% and I just refuse to move on because math is a building block. Well, learning anyway, like your skills build upon each other and it's very hard for you to move to the next one if you don't have the first one. It's like trying to build a house. If you don't lay a good foundation,
what are we doing here?
Yeah, the house is not going to, stand up. So yeah, if I taught a lesson and I only have 50% mastery, we're doing this again tomorrow, So yeah, so I definitely make sure that I'm looking at those things. And then also, like, I have my students check in with themselves. Like, we read the objective at the beginning of the lesson, we reread it at the end, and I ask them, like, okay, do you feel like you understand that? They tell me yes, they tell me no. So yeah.
I love that. And what about for friends that already have it or have flyers, good to go, could finish your exit ticket in like 2 minutes?
Those friends, I do have a few of them. Those are the friends that I then give them so if I'm in small group, those are the friends that are like working more independently on like either seat work or the online platforms, because I like our online platforms because you are able to move their levels, and I can
where they're at.
Right. And so like for my friends that maybe are, like you said, high flyers, or like they're finishing super quickly, they're understanding things, I might look at that standard for the grade above and assign them a lesson. That's something they could do while I'm doing in small group. They can do those teacher assigned lessons as kind of like their push, their extra, their challenge, while still making sure that they are continuously grasping all the second grade concepts. So yeah.
I love that. It's not so easy to amplify. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
math.
We're lucky.
They've been trying to make me go to the math team, and I'm like, y'all making it sound real good over there.
Listen.
Alrighty, and then last tip: when you're thinking about whole group instruction, what would you say would be like? Because there's so much in the Eureka book and everything you don't get to. How do you pick in, I guess, take out skills that you may not be able to get to, or based off of time constraints? How do you know what your students need?
Well, I actually got really lucky this year. My schedule really...
You can teach everything?
Pretty much. Like, pretty much. There's not really a lot of times that I don't get to everything. But if I don't, like, those are the times where, like, maybe I will take my 2 lower groups and I will then, like, say, okay, we're running out of time, we need to get to the problem set, or we didn't finish the problem set, or something like that. I'll send my 2 higher groups off to begin their problem set, pull my small groups, continue teaching, do the problem set with them, model them, send them off. Then by that time, the higher group, once they come to me, they've at least already answered the questions and we can just go through and, like, do a check. So I'm only meeting them for maybe 2 or 3
really
minutes.
Good.
Yeah. So like if I do run into those, I did that a lot last year because our time was not as on our side. But I do like the schedule a little bit more this year because I'm able to, do that. So yeah, I would just send off those ones and that's another way that I can challenge those ones that are like, understanding and grasp, keeping them engaged as well. Because sometimes they can get bored. And then,
for sure.
Behaviors.
But kudos to you as a teacher, just always having a pulse on where your students at, what they need to know, just to make sure you're always meeting their needs. I feel like as a teacher, we're like a waiter, what do you need? What do you need? What
right,
can I get you?
right.
What can I get you?
Yes.
But okay, thank you for all those teaching tips.
Thank you.
Hopefully
You're
that
welcome.
was very helpful. I do have one last question. It's like a personal, just teacher question.
Okay.
And this is my positive partner. Every time I look to her, like, we can talk, and no matter what's going on in education, put our positive pants on and help us get through the day. For the most part.
Yes.
90% of the time.
Yes.
And then sometimes you just know it is what it is.
Yes.
But how do you compartmentalize, like, even on the good days or the bad days, to do your best for your students? Teacher-wise in your brain.
I separate Taylor and Miss Anderson. They're two totally different people.
Yeah.
I leave Miss Anderson in school. We will pick her up when we come back, you know, because there's always something to do. There's always something to do. There's always something to be done. There's always a deadline for something. There's always a need to be met. The job never ends, you know. Literally. So it's like, it's kind of like, how can you pour from an empty cup, you know? So it's like, I had to find some separation and some balance.
Preaching.
I had to find some separation and some balance, and like, when I go home, I'm not gonna say I never do anything school related. I'm always thinking about my kids, you know? But I put a cap on it. Like last year, that was very hard. Like my first year, like completely on my own, that was very hard for me to do, you know, because you kind of feel guilty, like thinking about yourself, but it's like, okay, but you're a person before your career.
They say mom guilt, but teacher guilt, especially when we have like, as I call them, 35 little babies, always figuring out what can you do and have different needs and wants.
And that's how I'm able to show up the next day, even though I may have had a horrible day the day before. That's how I'm able to show up the next day.
That
and
restart.
Because I left it here. It is what it is. Tomorrow's a new day.
Here we go. Yeah. What can we do today? That's amazing. Any other teacher advice you would like to give the people out there?
I would just say you're doing your best. And as long as you're doing your best, then that's all that matters.
Yay! So, she's amazing, as you can tell. If you guys have any questions or want to reiterate anything she said down below, or how are you teaching math in your classroom, especially for the little ones? This is more like elementary, and I'm not sure if I'm getting a math teacher later on in the series, but you have to stay tuned for December day 4 or 5 tomorrow, and comment some pink heart emojis if you loved her on my channel. We'll definitely love to have her back because our favorite color is pink.
Yes.
So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe down below and hit the like button. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.